Don't you ever wish that your pet could just simply talk to you and tell you they're in pain? Are you left wondering if they are feeling sick, if they're hurting somewhere, or maybe they're just depressed because they didn't get to chase the ball with you today? Not being able to directly communicate with our pets can be incredibly frustrating for pet owners. Animals have also evolved to be able to hide their pain really well. This is part of the predator and prey instinct. So it may not always be obvious that they are in extreme discomfort. What do we do? How do we know that our pets are crying for help? My name is Dr. Priya, and today I'm not only going to help you identify, but also to interpret the subtle and not so subtle signs that your pet is experiencing pain. Whether you have a dog or a cat, this information is going to be relevant to you, so stay tuned to the very end. The first sign that your pet is experiencing pain is a change in their behavior. This is how the more emotional, sensitive, and melancholic animals express their discomfort. A change in their behavior is what usually alerts your parental spidey senses that something is up. Here are some common behavior changes that you may want to watch out for that may suggest your pet is experiencing pain. The first behavior change you may notice is a change in their overall energy level. Perhaps they're usually greeting you at the door when you come back really enthusiastically, wagging their tail or meowing at you. Maybe they're less inclined to do so now in the past couple of days. Perhaps they're usually really excited to go for their walks, and when you take a leash, they're jumping up at you, and these days you notice that they are more inclined to stay at home. Or perhaps when you do take them out for a walk, they're less inclined to walk the distance and would rather turn around and head back to the car or head back home. You may even notice that they are needing to stop frequently during their walks. They seem like they're really stubborn or lazy and don't want to go for their walks. If you have a cat, perhaps you notice them being less playful and more inclined to actually sleep on the couch the entire day. What your pet is trying to tell you in all these situations is, "Hey, mom and dad, I am in pain every time I move. It is far more comfortable for me to lie down, rest, and sleep because it helps ease the feeling of pain." Oh, hey, Bella. My cat's decided to join me. So the next behavior change that may suggest that your pet is experiencing pain is a change in their appetite. Perhaps usually they're a good eater and they finish all their food, but lately you're noticing that they're less inclined to finish their entire meal. Or maybe you notice that they're starting to become really picky about what they're eating, preferring to eat their snacks and treats rather than finishing their main meals. At this stage, you are probably really frustrated and wondering, "Why, you little rascal? I'm spending so much money on your food, but you are wasting it all away. What is going on? What's up with you?" What your pets are trying to tell you in this situation is that they are feeling uncomfortable. "Hey, mom and dad, it is uncomfortable for me to eat, but snacks and treats are my comfort food and they make me feel happy." Perhaps you notice that your pets would not eat on their own, but when they're being fed, they're more inclined to finish their food. And you are left wondering, why have they become such prince and princesses all of a sudden? What they are trying to tell you in this situation is, "I am in pain. It is difficult for me to stand and eat. I feel comforted and reassured and loved when you are feeding me. It makes me feel better." Another behavior change that you may notice to suggest that your pet is experiencing pain is a change in their mood. Do you notice that when you are in pain, you become really irritable? Do I become irritable? Well, the same happens to our pets. Irritability and aggression is a definite sign that your pet is in pain, especially when they haven't displayed such changes in their behaviors before. Have they become snappy when you try to pick them up, pat them on the back, or even clean their paws? Or maybe you have noticed that they're starting to growl at the children when they approach them. What they're trying to tell you is, "Don't touch me. I am in pain." Or, "I'm worried that you're going to cause me pain, so I'm warning you not to come near me." When your pet displays a sudden change in behavior, there is almost always something wrong physically. Your pet may even be displaying signs of anxiety, such as licking their feet or another part of their body incessantly, breathing heavily, or just simply looking really unsettled. Another sign that your pet is crying out for help is a change in their body posture, the way that they move, and their ability to move. For the animals that generally have a happier disposition or are just straight out gluttons, they may not let you in on the early signs that they are experiencing pain. In these animals, we can only appreciate the progression of pain when it finally appears as a change in the way that they move. Remember, pain is a mental perception of a physiological response. Therefore, an animal's natural character trait, their mood, and their individual pain thresholds will all affect the way that they express pain. Here are some examples of changes in body posture that you may notice when your pet is in pain. The most obvious is when you notice that your pet is limping on a particular leg. Limping is a definite sign that your pet is experiencing pain. Maybe you're noticing that the limping is worse when your pet just gets up from a lying down position. What your pet is trying to tell you is, "Hey mom and dad, my leg feels a little stiff and numb after I have lied down for a while." If your pet is limping more after they have moved around or played, it is most likely because they have strained themselves due to the activity, which has caused inflammation and now pain. Do you have a pet that seems totally okay when they're walking, but as soon as they come to a standing position, they tend to sink in their back legs and some of them may just choose to lie down? What they're trying to say to you in this situation is, it is easier for me to shorten the time I load my outie parts by constantly moving. I am in pain when I stand, and therefore, by constantly moving or lying down, I am easing the pain that I feel in my body. Other alteration in posture that you may notice is a hunched back or a low neck carriage. Pets that have a hunched back are most likely going to have pain in their back or their spine, or sometimes, thank you Bella, shoo shoo now. Pets that have a hunchback will most likely have pain in their back or their spine or in their abdomen. Think about when you have a stomach pain or menstrual cramps. All you want to do is curl up into a ball to make the pain go away. It is the same for our pets. Hunching their back relieves the tension of the spine and the abdomen and helps them feel more comfortable. If you notice your pet to have a low neck carriage, what they're trying to tell you is that they have pain in their neck and therefore they cannot lift their neck up high to a normal level, or they have pain in their back legs, so they're shifting their weight forward to be able to hold their posture upright. If you have an aging animals, be sure to consider their vision. What they may be trying to tell you is, "Hey mom and dad, my vision is reducing and therefore I have to rely on my other senses to help me get around the house." So they will rely on their sense of smell mainly, and when they hold their neck close to the ground, they're able to smell their way around the house and navigate better that way. If you have an aging pet, you may have noticed that they have difficulties getting up off slippery floor surfaces. Perhaps you notice that they are tripping or falling more often than usual, or taking a bit more time to get into a very comfortable lying down position. These are signs that your old pet is experiencing pain and weakness in their joints and muscles. Alright, for all you Golden Retriever, Labrador Retriever, Corgi and Rottweiler owners, your dogs are amongst the few breeds of dogs that are prone to developing a condition called hip dysplasia. This essentially means that the hip joints in your pets are poorly developed, therefore causing an increased instability in this area. It also makes your dogs prone to developing degenerative joint disease at an early age. A classic sign your dog is experiencing pain in its hip joints is if you notice an excessive amount of waddling in the back legs. So you may think to yourself, geez, it's waddling like a duck. That's kind of cute. But actually, it is not. It's a sign that your dog is experiencing pain. Now, dogs with hip dysplasia will naturally sway their hips more than a dog with normally formed hip. But when you notice that the swaying becomes excessive, what they're trying to say is, Mom and Dad, it is painful for me to move my hips as I normally would. So what I am doing is using my lower back muscles to help me bring my back legs forward. Another change of posture in these dogs associated with pain is if you notice them standing with both their back legs really close together and they shift their weight forward to stand quite broadly in their front legs. What they're trying to say is that it's uncomfortable for them to stand normally like they would. So they'll need to actually shift their body weight, alter their posture, and find a position where they can stand with improved comfort and move with ease. So you have identified all these signs that your pet may be in pain and decide to follow your parental ID senses to take your pet in to get a professional opinion. People often ask me when I'm assessing their pet, how do you know that he or she is in pain? The answer is simple. The body tells me. The next sign and sure sign that your pet is in pain is when we get a pain response from your animal when assessing them. As a veterinarian, we will need to differentiate between the medical causes of pain from the neuromuscular and musculoskeletal causes of pain. Some common illnesses such as digestive issues or blood infections can make our pet feel just as bad as if they had a joint and muscle pain. In my clinical assessment, if an animal's muscle twitches, we call this muscle fasciculation. Or if they don't want to be touched or moved, or if they give me the death glare, or even try to bite me when certain parts of their bodies are being assessed, this is a sure sign that this animal is experiencing pain. Then based on my clinical assessment, I may or may not go down the route of further investigation to definitively diagnose the cause of pain. Now that you understand how your pets communicate their pain to you and are able to identify that they are in pain, you're probably wondering what to do next. I have a video lined up here that talks about how to effectively manage your pet's joint and muscle pain. I think this video might be helpful for you. You can find it right here, and I'll see you soon.